A similar analysis as to who's a responsible party will be carried out by the state of California, ordinarily the EDD. Typically, responsible parties are the owners or corporate officers of a business, but occasionally employees are also found liable. Often the key factor in calling somebody a responsible party is where the individual had authority. They didn't necessarily do it, but they had authority to provide input on which creditors got paid. If some other creditor was paid over the IRS, that is usually the linchpin that gets somebody called a responsible party. Additionally, any person that has the final say on whether the employment taxes are actually paid or turned over to the government will be found a responsible party. Any individual that is charged with overseeing the day-to-day operations of a business will be closely scrutinized to determine whether they are a responsible party. Also at risk is any employee who's part of their job description to make sure employment taxes get paid over, whether they actually accomplish it or not. This is especially true where the individual is authorized and has the ability to pay over the payroll taxes rather than going default. On the other hand, employees and investors who do not have the authority to write checks, have duties unrelated to the payment of taxes, and are not involved in the daily operations of the business are ordinarily not found to be responsible parties. Although the IRS and the EDD for that matter has published guidance on who a responsible party is, there is no guarantee of who and who will not be determined to be a responsible party, even in the face of this literature. Any individual with a deep pocket and the apparent financial ability to cover the payroll tax liability, or who apparently benefited for the short paying of the payroll tax liability, is at risk of being called a responsible party. If an individual had the theoretical power within an organization to determine which creditor got paid and whether to actually turn over payroll taxes, they're likely to be called a responsible party whether they exercise that power or not. Shockingly, there's been documented cases in case law where an employee or an officer of a corporation fought with the owner continually about the duty to pay payroll taxes and ultimately quit their job over the payroll taxes not being paid and found themselves to be a responsible party for the time they were involved with that business anyways.